Your Cobalt clan, what's happening? This is your lead developer Szion, and in today's video we'll be getting into why Chrom's important, why we bothered adding him, and why we changed him up so much for Cobalt's future releases. For those who don't know, a Cobalt Clash tournament, 500 bucks on the line, is happening next week, Saturday, the 26th at 7 p.m. Still time to sign up. You'll be able to play this Chrom as you see him right here in the bracket. So I hope to see you there. For those who already signed up, practice diligently. There's a lot of new ground to cover, a lot of matchups to look at. You can't do it all, but yeah, hopefully you enjoy and get a chance to show your stuff. But with all that out of the way, let's get into why we have added yet another Fire Emblem character. He's the protagonist of Fire Emblem Awakening, so he's pretty important. The game saved the franchise, and he's overshadowed by his daughter Lucina pretty frequently as far as modding goes. But I kind of wanted to change that. I wanted him to be less of a Smash Ultimate Roy clone and give him some more of his own identity. That isn't to say that he doesn't have moves from Ultimates, but it's especially convenient that Roy here in PM is based on Melee Roy, so he will have a lot of moves that make him unique compared to any of the Marthlikes or Marth himself. So with that all out of the way, let's get into it. We've got the ultimate jab, very fast, very repeatable. You can get some combos off of it, string into your aerials, etc. You have the ultimate forward tilt, pretty strong move. The Cobalt penchant of having cracked F tilts continues. So pretty basic move, nothing special to it. You've got up tilt, also from ultimate. This is a combo tool, sends at angle 90, really strong, leads into your aerials. It's got more knockback growth, so you can kill with it later on, but if you want to combo with it at later percents, jab is still your guy. The first new move that we're going to be showing though is down tilts. This move is very much reminiscent of Ike's. The way I see it, Chrom's stat spread offensively in terms of his moves and his damage output should be a midpoint between Marth and Ike rather than Marth and Roy or something weird like that. This guy's got some pretty big lumbering swings in the game. Definitely doesn't know his own strength either. So him having that kind of stat spread makes sense to me. With that said, he's got this down tilt that is partially inspired by HDR. The inner hit sends at angle 60. But the outer hit, that's the HDR goodness in there. Shout out to HDR. Beautiful mod for Ultimate that does for Ultimate what PM does for Brawl. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Beautiful game. A lot of character revamps. Check it out. But yeah, if they DI away from you, down tilt will just pop them straight up. But if they DI in, you can get a follow-up behind you of some sort. A lot of Chrom's moves that start behind him are pretty good. So you will keep that in mind for later. The smash attacks are actually, I was about to say they were from Ultimate, but no, they're not. The forward smash is, but the up smash is a reanimated version of Legacy XP Lucina's. This is a move that, in addition to down smash, is shared with Lucina. The big difference being that Lucina's kills and Chrom's doesn't. But Chrom's has the same property that his down tilt tipper does, where it pulls people towards him. So if they're DIing out, they will end up just going straight up. Yeah, but if they DI in, they get sent behind you. He's got a lot of moves like this that are kind of DI mix-up, so you got to be careful when and how you use these moves because they function in a somewhat non-conventional way. But yeah, like I said earlier, the down smash is Lucina's, but the angles are reversed. Lucina's on the back hit sends people in front of her, but Chrom's does the opposite. That also means that the front hit that sends in front of him in Lucina's version will send behind him. Useful against space animals who are DIing out at mid to late percents. The dash attack, pretty much the same as Ultimate. It can kill you. There are some confirms you can get into it, but otherwise that move hasn't really changed much from its Ultimate iteration. Okay, now here's the fun part. All right, the aerials. Okay, we've got neutral air. Let me do this outside of a platform here. Yeah. This is loosely based on an animation he does in Fire Emblem Warriors, a 2-part strike, but we've adapted to an aerial move. First hit is very similar to Marth's on hit. The second hit is its own thing, sends people away, can use it to get kill confirmed, use the combo. Not exactly the most complicated neutral air. Forward air, on the other hand, has the Marth tipper effect where it sends in on the tipper. Well, not in, but like, you know, kind of a high angle. But the inside is like Roy's, where it does more damage and knockback. This isn't to say that every move that Chrom has that has a tipper is going to be a combo move or it's better. Consider Chrom's forward air as 2 moves in 1. The tipper is good for comboing, the inside hit is good for killing, whereas like with Marth, both hits are good for comboing in different contexts. But, you know, I kind of want Chrom to have this, you know, there are 2 layers of usefulness in his moves, especially forward air and back air, which has the opposite thing going on. The back air's tipper is very strong, but the inside hit sends at like angle 60, so you can get combos with it sometimes. But if you want to kill with it, yeah, gotta use the tipper. This sort of inconsistency is my way of contrasting Lucina's complete lack of a sweet and sour spot system, whereas Chrom has access to both of them at the same time, but isn't necessarily better or worse for using one or the other. Both versions of the moves that have these properties are useful in their own situations, so don't feel as though you have to tipper this or you have to sweet spot that. Use whichever one you prefer in the moment you like it the most. I think Chrom is very open and free-flowing like that. It also references his inconsistency and seemingly lack of knowledge of his own strength. So he would kind of just be a little inconsistent with where his power is. He doesn't quite know it yet. That said, moving on, we have up air. As you saw earlier, this move has multiple different hitboxes. The first hitbox is 13 damage and it's pretty strong actually. You can juggle with it. And it sends like straight up, like angle 90. The first 2 frames of it are the only hitboxes that do that. Somewhere towards the middle though, you have you have what is essentially a Pikachu up air, if you want to think about it that way, where the hitboxes send a little bit at like a semi-spike angle, and the last 2 frames of hitboxes send up at angle 75. So it's kind of like the weak hit of all the hitboxes. You could consider it that way. The general purpose for that move, kind of like drag people with you as you like go combo horizontally. I don't necessarily want this guy to be too much of a vertical juggler, so you know, you hit a jab or an up tilt, and then you know maybe you can something like that. But yeah, you're gonna find that like for some of his vertical moves, a lot of the power is at the beginning of the move, the first couple frames. Same is true for down air. Down air starts as a meteor, but later on transitions to be similar to Roy's down air. So you can use that to pop people up and then go for a kill confirm or whatever else you want to do. But you know, if your opponent is grounded, you know, the first frame of down air can really get you started. So that's all his aerials. Let's look at his throws. Forward throw, your pretty simple tech chase positioning throw. Up throw is Marth's with a lot of extra base knockback. Can really get you set up to use the up air if the opponent doesn't manage to double jump out. Generally though, not a combo throw. Back throw, Chrom sort of grapples you up and scores a touchdown. This guy, this back throw is pretty strong for a Fire Emblem character, in my opinion. But not gonna get a kill until like 150. Like it's not like Nest back throw or something. but you can definitely pick up some KOs with it if the opponent isn't prepared to DI it. Lastly, we have down throw, based on an animation he does in the cutscene where he is protecting Lissa from the Risen. Throws the opponent on the ground and stabs through their back. Reminds me of my ex-girlfriend. You have a couple of different ways that you can utilize the move. On DI in, you can get a follow-up, but if they DI out, there is a chance you can get it to kill. It's got a lot of knockback, so it's kind of a move where the opponent might want to use no DI in order to escape a lethal situation at later percents. Because that at like 120, that's way more problematic. So that move is one of those situational throws where you have a lot of options to consider, and they give you a little time to do it. There's some frames with, throws them on the ground, the jump, so you've got a little time to make a decision before he hits you with that. Choose wisely. Throws out of the way, let's talk about the specials. What I'm going to be calling the Exalt Thrust. Lucina's neutral B returns again. Both of them did it in the cutscene. This is chargeable for about 50% longer than Lucina's is, but doesn't have as much hitbox activity. So you'll have to be more discerning with when you let that move go, but generally speaking, yours is a little stronger than hers. Hers also travels slightly farther. Next we have Side B, which I will be calling Dual Strike. This is something of a Dancing Blade-like, where you have the ability to choose multiple different directions after pressing the initial strike. Pressing B again in another direction will offer you a different move. Yeah, such satisfying sound effects. Shout out to the Rex team for that, and the graphics. Hope you guys are looking forward to the Rex release. It should be a pretty good time. But, yeah, you can press the upwards one for a pull-in combo hit. You can press the forward one, reminiscent of Roy's, to go for, you can use it as a kill confirm or just a combo ender. It does a decent amount of damage. And you use the downward one for its quick speed of attack and generally low angle. So you can go for, you can start your edge guards from that sometimes. In the air, the moves do basically the same thing. The main difference being, if you'll give me a moment to get some percent on this guy here. The upward angled one is a spike. It's a weak spike, so, in conjunction with the fact that his trajectory is committed once he starts the move, it can be very difficult to land, especially safely. So, I don't want to see people like trying to go for this spike very frequently. It's good, but, it's not that good. So, use discerningly, of course. But next we have Up B, Soaring Strike. Very reminiscent of the one in Ultimate, but partially adapted to be like HDR, in that it multi-hits on the way down. If you can manage to catch the opponent in all the hits. There you go. And it has some moderate knockback at the end. In the future, this move will feature a strike that sends people upwards and will much more closely mimic HDR on its way down. But for now, it is simply the jump from the cutscene and the spinning follow-through on the way down. Lastly, we have Down B, which some of you may know from the games as Ether, and it is. Ether is just a skill in the Fire Emblem games that has very different performances, but they all do the same thing, which is ignore defense and heal you for some of the damage you deal. Ike's Ether is very cinematic. This one, not quite so much, but it does heal him for 5% when it hits, and if you press a certain button when it hits, you get a little voice clip. This is going to be one of the moves you're going to be using as your finishing option. It's very powerful, and it reaches a decent distance away too. So while it has a decent amount of end lag afterwards, and continues your momentum a little bit after you've you know, let it go, you know, it can be very difficult to hit. Oh wow, didn't get the kill. Okay. Wonder what DI that was. But yeah, this is a bit of an unwieldy move, but you know, if you can get it to hit, you know, very powerful, especially off stage. You get a little combo going. And if I had my double jump there, you know, I could have. If I had my double jump, I could have gone for it right there after the up air, and yeah, that would be pretty devastating. Even jab can combo into it. I'm not demonstrating it very well, but you know, as you can see, if you line it up properly, it's pretty potent. So there you have it. That's about everything as far as Chrom is concerned. If anyone has any questions about the Cobalt class, you're free to hit me up in the Discord and in the comment section of the video. I see I've been recording for like 15 minutes. I'll see if I can get this shortened down in some way. Thanks for watching.